Good evening and welcome to the Boise State Esports Arena. Tonight we bring you something completely different, something new, something fresh. You see what I did there with the Splatoon? We are going with Splatoon, and that's the first time we are broadcasting here at Boise State Esports with a best-of-5 exhibition match, a team that will call Boise State going up against UC Sunnydale, a menagerie of players, a lot of excitement, and of course, two great casters to bring it all to you. My name is Jacob Palmer. I'm going to be your host, joined by Audrey Runa Norris. So this is so exciting, finally being able to bring this completely unique shooter game to Boise State Esports. Tell us just a little bit about your background and what you've played with Splatoon, because it's not often we find players around here.
Oh yeah, you know, Splatoon, a lot of people give it like the rap that it's just a kid's game, which sucks because it is actually a really fun game for all ages, just with the way of how unique it is. I never really got to play Splatoon 1 because I didn't have the Wii U,
Sure.
so I didn't get the chance to play it. But when Splatoon 2 came out, it was the first game I was given with my Nintendo Switch for my birthday. So I played it quite a bit when I got my Switch, and it's just a really fun game. I think my favorite part is just it prioritizes a lot of things that other games in the genre don't.
Yeah, the main thing, of course, is the turf inking mechanic, and just a lot of people just think, oh, you ink the most turf to win. You know, that's just the game, and like, no, there are so many modes to it, but the turf mechanic is the most consequential part. It affects your movement, it affects where you can go, it affects if the other team is able to catch you out, and I would say with the movement mechanic, it's probably one of the more twitchier shooters out there, by the way. You know, it's a lot more fast-paced than even Overwatch, I have to say. And I will stand by that claim because the respawn timers are a lot lower. You're just moving faster all over the arena. Let's take a look at how the event tonight is going to work out, however, as we get to showcase you all that Splatoon has to offer. Like I said, it's just a standard best-of-5 of 4v4 teams, Boise State versus UC Sunnydale, and the modes are going to be Turf War, Rainmaker, Clam Blitz, Splat Zones, and Tower Control. So a full showcase of everything that we have to offer in Splatoon 3. And of course, you were hinting at it a little bit earlier, Runa, there is more to just trying to ink the whole play field. You also want to ink your spawn. That's the first thing. Doc's keys to the game in Splatoon are going to be ink your spawn, have a balanced team composition, super jump with caution, and of course, manage those specials accordingly. And it's all brought to you by Drop-In Gaming, the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you're new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. And I actually think that's one of the mechanics that's overlooked is the special, because the charge gets reset with every elimination.
Oh yeah, no, that one can be really dangerous if you're not careful and you're not paying attention to the people using it.
Yeah, it introduces a whole new mechanic, because every other game we broadcast here at Boise State Esports, you can just save up your ultimates. You can just wait until the next team fight. But the specials in Splatoon, no, if you have it, you have to make that calculation of whether do I want to use it now when I can use it, or do I risk getting taken out and then my charge is all the way back to zero. So things like feeding, it really applies a lot more here in Splatoon. And we can also see the list of stages that we will be going up against UC Sunnydale with. We said Turf War is going to be up first, and it looks like the first stage is going to be Wahoo World. That's a Splatoon 2 favorite, also followed by Mako Mart. I'm sure you're familiar with that one. Inkblot Art Academy, and then we have two new stages from Splatoon 3, Undertow Spillway and Hagglefish Market. It looks like we're just about ready to head into the first stage here. We are going to load into the arena and see how things work out. Now, we're going to be starting off here pretty darn simple on Turf War, standard Splatoon mode, what it's best known for.
The first thing you always think about when you're, whether you've been playing Splatoon for years or if you're new to the scene, is Turf War, because it is one of the most basic ones. You just gotta get in there and you gotta ink the most turf.
Wahoo World is a stage that has a lot of very open spaces, so a lot of cheeky sidelines that you can use. And see here this person named Jam. I can't imagine who that is, but I'm sure he's a very nice person. He's going to be leading Boise State, which is fittingly in the blue. And this central carousel is very crucial to this stage. You want to be able to control the majority of the percentage of the stage's surface area, and a lot of that is in that carousel.
Yeah, and as we can see right now, blue team is starting to get that carousel a little bit more inked than pink team, and they're doing a solid job of defending it. However, someone did manage to get a couple splats. Looks like there was a wipeout, though, there.
Yeah, that is a full wipeout for Boise State. That's going to give them a little bit of other time. Look at Jepster also using this flank route toward the spawn. He's going to try to take out, but gets ambush and is splatted. Going to be sent back to start. We also see a few ultimates available for Boise State, as well as this Reef Slider. New to Splatoon 3 is just going to use that to claim a little bit more turf area. One is going to head down for Boise State. Can Ewan keep up the pressure? Looks like Boise State has also dropped a Tacticooler, going to just help boost their stats a little bit. Also, the Crab Tank just brought out new Splatoon 3 Ultimate, and is just going to use it for just a little bit of turf coverage.
Yeah, with Turf War, you gotta watch your specials there, and it looks like their pink team is, again, trying their best to push up, but Gem right there is keeping them back, helping push their turf up, and going up, through that side flank with some backup to see maybe if that'll work this time.
We'll see. It's usually better to do 2-on-2. Does look like Boise State is having an end, and Jubby is actually going to get the flank on the flank, take him out one by one, using that blaster. Always one of the more interesting weapons in the Splatoon lore. You either love it or you hate it, but it can be effective, as another Bronco is going to bite the dust. We are now into the most crucial part of this game. 1 minute remaining. It always seems like Turf Wars are always decided in the last minute. As we go into mid, we see Luna here with Boise State in mid, going to try to look and see what route UC Sunnydale is going to take as Ewan, and now it looks like their sniper are trying to push up onto the middle arena. Crucial thing is that the bridges are down. Ewan now makes their way on to the center point. Can they get a splat against Boise State? Is going to fall down to the lower left. Does Luna decide to pursue? Ewan now has a huge opening to splatting Boise State's home turf.
Yeah, Ewan is pushing up there and does have
Slider
their special now.
Look
and they
out here.
Use it.
They use it, but it's not in the right position, and they are in hot pursuit from the Broncos. Ewan is running away, a little bit of backup, but it's not going to be enough. Jepster gets the splat and gets a double. That is going to put Boise State into a great position here for the final stages of Turf World. Wipeout on top of that. I would be confident in saying that is the first win for the Broncos. But let's get the official word from our resident cat judge, which is going to be Judd. 49.4%, very convincing win.
You know, the fun thing I always think with Turf War is that sometimes when they have, like when the ink is kind of spread out instead of like in one big swath, it's really hard to tell who actually won right until the end when the cat actually tells you.
There are some times it sneaks up on you and you're not quite sure. So that is one in the bag for the Broncos, but UC Sunnydale can really, still has a lot of ground to make up as we're heading into the next round of this best of 5, and this is Rainmaker, and I'm sure you're familiar with that. Tell us a little bit about how Rainmaker works, because it's one of the more interesting modes.
Rainmaker, I haven't played a lot of it because I didn't get into the super big competitive area for a while, so I don't know if I can fully explain it, but I do know that the main objective is to grab the item called the Rainmaker and to bring it to a spot and dunk it, if I remember correctly.
Yes, it's very much like standard capture the flag mode that you see in other modes like Halo, except this time the flag is a gun that you can use yourself, but it often takes a long time to charge up. You move slower when you carry it. Now, here's one of the new things about Splatoon 3 that changed from Splatoon 2. Rainmaker in Splatoon 1 and 2, there was only one home base for each team. And you could have complete wipes of a team just in the first 30 seconds running the Rainmaker all the way to your base and winning instantly.
That's right. I remember they did add checkpoints for that now.
Yes,
which makes
there
are
are checkpoints.
Nicer for people when they get wiped out.
Yeah, now you can still get rolled. I've experienced that many times already, but it's a little bit more balanced here. So we'll see how that works out as we're ready to head into Mako Mart, which is kind of a lot of people's favorite stage. Such a unique theme. It's basically a whole supermarket. A big open area in the middle. You're going to want to watch for those 2 high ground points around the center. A lot of people try to take those, and those give you a huge vantage point. A lot of great sightlines that can be taken from those 2. You see the brown areas in near the center. Both teams are already going to be charging toward them because they understand the importance of that high ground. Who's going to be first to break the Rainmaker? Looks like UC Sunnydale's off to the races, taking it.
Yeah, with Houseplant holding the Rainmaker, they're now managed to wipe out 2 people and push really far forward, getting the first Rainmaker dunk there for their checkpoint, and again just pushing Boise State back as they're just able to, they got the checkpoint there. Boise State has gotten set up on the high ground though, which is giving them a better chance of trying to get rid of the Rainmaker, and who does manage to get knocked out there, and they do get a wipeout on
UC Sunnydale, yeah. Think of the yellow as, representing the bright sun.
That actually is great for this map.
Yeah, it actually is. Now Boise State's going to take control for the first time. We'll see how far they can push it. Gem is already going to fall. That's going to leave just 3 left for Boise State. And uh-oh, I was telling you about that high ground. Boise State gets splatted. Also going to bring out the crab tank as a special just to make sure. Gem is trying to flank from the back, though, fresh off the respawn. Can he take down the crab tank? He's just diverting enough attention away from it. Question is now, is Migo going to be able to escape? Gem is in hot pursuit. This is just a battle for pride, and it's going to be a draw between both of them. But meanwhile, while we were having that kind of battle for pride, Boise State has only managed to push it to 71 compared to UC Sunnydale 17. Remember, the lower the number, the closer you are to the opposing team's base. We're going to see the killer whale thrown out. Rainmaker goes back into the bubble, which UC Sunnydale looks like they're going to burst. Now, who's going to pick it up? Boise State, who actually just a daring play from Andrea, and I like that, just going forward for the objective, realizing that, hey, we can get a little bit of progress here.
Yeah, I mean, when your teammates are down and the opponent is about to get it away from your last chance there to get the percentage, you might as well do a little Hail Mary and see if it works, because either way, you're going to have to, if you succeed, that's a benefit to you, and if you fail, then you're going to have to go back to 0, so you might as well try your best.
Of course, remember, you don't have to get it to the opposing team's base. You just have to get it a little bit farther than the team. Look at Andrea opening up the path. This could be the way, but Boise State, the Rainmaker gets taken out, so all that work Andrea is putting to try to clear a path is going to be all for naught. Can't recover, and that looks like it's probably going to be a full reset for the Broncos. UC Sunnydale now working to burst that bubble themselves. Now as the reset comes out here, we'll see what Alex can do. Can he take out UC Sunnydale? Doesn't look like it. Huge. Actually, no. It is down. UC Sunnydale is just down to 2, as Boise State might just have a little life. But no one's really grabbed the Rainmaker quite yet. It's been really scrappy.
Yeah, this isn't a great sightline for either team right now, because it gives both teams the opportunity to snipe from above and just really effectively get them. But Boise State was able to wipe them out and push forward.
Oh, how far? He just needs to get it past 17, just a little bit more. Gets taken out at 20, and it is so close, but the Broncos are just going to have to be left searching again.
With both teams reset right now, UC Sunnydale does have the Rainmaker and is pushing forward with it. Going with a different direction this time, though, from before. Probably trying to get away from that little corridor that they were dealing with last time.
They're going to spend.
They're pushing forward.
They're going to spend a crab tank on it. Boise State answers back with a wipeout of their own. The question is, how far can they push it now while UC Sunnydale is resetting? They're going to have to go up against the forward. That's one down. Hanzo is going to bite the dust from the Rainmaker. How far can it go? Boise State is clearing the path. Can they get any closer? Another one from UC Sunnydale is taken out. They're signaling, go this way, and they just get past it. It looks like the final climb is going to evade them, but the Broncos now positioning themselves in the lead with 1 minute left.
With just barely anything to make 2, they do get wiped out, unfortunately, allowing UC Sunnydale to push forward. But they have reset, and they are waiting, ready for Migo and the rest of his team to make sure that they don't get any farther, as they are trying to clear the area. But so far, they have lost the Rainmaker, as Boise State has lost no members and is waiting for their opening right now to push in, which they do. Alex does manage to grab the Rainmaker, and they begin their push, having to back up a little bit to reset.
They don't even necessarily have to push. They just have to maintain control of center and, more importantly, the Rainmaker itself. If by the time that timer hits 0, UC Sunnydale has the Rainmaker, we will go into overtime until someone gets rid of the Rainmaker carrier. Boise State's Rainmaker carrier is going to fall down. We do see one ultimate available for UC Sunnydale. Special, I should say. Is someone going to be able to take them out? It looks like they are holding strong. Also, Crab Tank just coming online for UC Sunnydale. Will it be enough? It is into overtime. How far can UC Sunnydale get? Can they make the Heroes plane get all the way to Boise State? No, they cannot. And the Broncos are going to take that second round. And the final score count here is 93 Broncos, 83 UC Sunnydale. Boise State goes up 2 in this best of 5. And man, that was quite close back and forth. I didn't know if the Broncos were able to recover after they were just bowled over by UC Sunnydale at the beginning.
Yeah, UC Sunnydale had a really solid start there. They were just able to counter Boise State every single time they tried for it and had a really good push at the beginning, but I think the thing about that too is you never know, because Boise State was able to just wait, bide their time, recover, and then get that really close.
We
Almost
actually,
got it.
I hear we have a replay that we can bring up to see what was kind of the crucial moment here. You can just hit play events there on the replay computer there to get things started. Yeah, and this, we were talking about, it was so scrappy during this fight. The sightlines were just not there, but then an unexpected wipeout and 2 left for the Broncos. The remaining were able to kind of super jump in, provide the backup, and you just have to push it a little bit farther than the opposing team. That's all you got to do. You don't have to get it to the base, just get a higher score.
Just like Doc Ski said, make sure you cautiously super jump.
I know, cautiously super jump. There are times to use it, but it gives away your position when you are using it. So now we go into match point for the Broncos, into everyone's favorite clam blitz. And I'm not even going to ask you to explain this, because even when I explain it, it doesn't make any sense myself. It is the
Collect clams, throw footballs.
Collect clams, throw footballs, which I suppose is in keeping with the collegiate tradition. Let's just jump in here and we'll try to explain it as it goes on, because this is such contrived a mode. Basically, there are clams everywhere on the field. If you collect 8, you'll get a football for yourself. Throw the football into the opponent's goal and it'll open it so your team can start to score points against them. It is very special. Right?
Yeah, this is one of those just game modes that some people really, really like, and then a lot of people are just like, I don't want to do this right now.
It is the worst mode, I'll say, to solo queue with. Because it is the most team-based mode, if you're not working with your team, it can be such a slog. It is very hard to solo carry and pop off. Crab Tank is going to be used in mid with Mac trying to take out Makuro, who gets the splat on him, so UC Sunnydale looks like they are going to be able to get a rally. Are they going to be able to make it toward Boise State's goal? We do see it looks like the zipliner is used. That's one of the other new ultimates. It's going to pay off by getting rid of one of the Broncos, but meanwhile, UC Sunnydale still just kind of unable to push forward. Grave Breaker hit down defensively for the Broncos just to try to zone out some space, but Nathan is dodging it, destroys it. This could be the opening. If he can take out Gem, he opens the path. Can he get 8 to get the football? It looks like UC Sunnydale already has the football for themselves. They've made their way toward the goal. Is the football carrier going to be able to get toward the goal? He drops it at the last moment. Will someone else pick it up and toss it? And that is the first point scored for UC Sunnydale. They are celebrating, and right now the Broncos are just trying to piece together any sort of defense they can muster.
Yeah, they're right now clearing the area, not wanting to let them get anywhere near that goal so they can keep throwing in the clams and hopefully being able to reset there and get their own football to throw back, which...
Ooh, zipliner. He's going in for the daring play to try to take out the Broncos, flank them from all angles. They know he's there, but he's just content being distracting for the Broncos.
Forward again, just not letting the Broncos get out of their spawn area right now, just keeping them in one spot while they're getting ready for another volley. Though it does look like Boise State does have a football ready and waiting once they are able to clear the area and get a solid push to their UC Sunnydale's goal.
Oh, but one single player from UC Sunnydale drags their own football toward Boise State's goal, and that opens things up yet again. The Broncos haven't yet to score anything. Few clams are going to be stopped. There's just one left for UC Sunnydale, so this gives Boise State time to regroup. They're going to grab the football they were given. Can they make their way toward the opposing team's goal? Gem has tunnel vision, but manages to get it. Now how much can the Broncos score? One clam thrown in is worth 3 points. Another football is worth 20. They are so close to UC Sunnydale. They're just 4 off. Nathan doesn't have time here to get close to the... No! And UC Sunnydale is going to just barely keep the lead.
Both teams have footballs right now too, so now it's just kind of a matter of who can get there first, and it looks like they might be both going for it at the same time, with Boise State pushing towards the UC Sunnydale goal but getting knocked out, while UC Sunnydale is trying to respond back in kind, but Boise State isn't having any of it and is keeping them away with...
Makuro brings out the Crab Tank. Mac was just using it himself. He's going to be on the receiving end of his own special. but a 2-on-1 from Boise State is going to keep Sunnydale at bay. Nathan is the one from Sunnydale that does have the football. Can he make it to the goal and score further? He's going to drop it as he's taken out. Now Boise State just has to maintain control. Reef Slider brought out, going to take out one. Bronco, is that the opening they were looking for? He just misses the shot with the football. Can he throw it again? He gets taken out before he can open up a bigger lead.
It was a close spot there for Boise State, but they managed to push it away as they're now going to try and fend off the rest of UC Sunnydale from trying to get over there again.
Now, in case this is your first time watching and you don't know what that +10 and +16, that's a penalty that gets prescribed to your team every time the other team scores on you. So it's a little bit of trying to even things up, and Boise State tries a desperate last-minute charge, but it gets stopped by UC Sunnydale. See, Angry is just keeping watch over that football. It's going to wear out. The Broncos can't choose it. Nathan sees his opening. He's got 6. He just needs 2 more to get the football. And he's moving in with the brush. Because he can move so fast with that brush, he just splats right through Boise State, picking up a double with the triple to get a wipeout. What a play from Nathan. He's rallying his team toward the final goal, and I think this is the final nail in the coffin for the Broncos. UC Sunnydale has found their edge, and they're going to drive us to at least a game 4. Goes out of Tacticooler. Not that it's going to be too much of a difference. It was really close there, but I got to say that Octobrush play from Nathan was the main deciding factor.
Yeah, with that speed boost, it just allows you to get into places that people aren't expecting, especially because it wasn't like there wasn't any Boise State players there. He just managed to go around them and get it out and then splat them all, allowing his team to push through to victory there.
And that's one of the key things about, you know, using the ink brush or the Octobrush is normally with all the normal guns, you got to clear a path for yourself before you swim through, but you can just make your own path and zoom right past everybody with the Octobrush. So it is definitely a frontline weapon. People who know how to use it can really pop off with it. You just got to make sure you get to the other team because the range on it, terrible.
Oh yeah, no, those are some of my favorite weapons to use. They are really hard because, like you said, they have low range, but if you do manage to get right next to people, it is so hard for them to deal with you because unless there's like, it's a 3v1, you're going to be taking them out really quickly and effectively, especially if you get all sneaky about it too.
So now we go to the most classic of ranked modes in Splatoon. We're going to splat zones, 1 control point in the center of the map, or sometimes 2, depending on which stage it is. And if you control them, you get, you know, it's very much like Overwatch's, you know, control mode. You know, you're trying to take control of the center point and get the timer from 1 to 100.
Most control modes have some sort of similar scenario like that. Get the point, get the percentages up, and you're good to go, as long as you manage to control the area. Though Splatoon 3 and just Splatoon in general does add the added factor of inking turf, because most of those control zones don't have dangerous areas that you can't stand in for more than a couple of seconds without being wiped out.
And of course, Splatoon, just being the franchise it is, loves assigning you with penalties if the other team makes a breakthrough. So remember, if your team is controlling the point and the other team takes control of it, you can have a whole bunch added back onto your timer that you'll need to clear out before you score anymore. So let's get... Oh, I'm sorry. It sounded like you wanted to say something, but I guess there are no words right now. We can only let a picture tell 1,000 words, or a picture is worth 1,000 words. A moving picture is probably worth 10,000 words. So let's see one right now and get into this Splat Zone match. We're going into Undertow Spillway, one of the new Splatoon 3 stages. Looks like Boise State's going to be in the purple, UC Sunnydale in green. And off we go. There are 2 Splat Zones in the center. Who is going to gain control of it first? Looks like both teams are claiming the Splat Zone closest to them. Dead is going to try to clear out a path against Sunnydale. But Sunnydale manages to gain control of it. It is back and forth. Remember, you need to control both Splat Zones for that timer to start ticking. Both teams are fighting fiercely. A Reef Slider is going to be brought out. You see Sunnydale also sees. But it is this back and forth scrappy fight between 2 teams. The respawns are so quick on Splatoon that you just don't know what's happening.
Yeah, with a solid like ability there too, just immediately taking out some of the turf that was controlled there.
Oh, Ultra Stamp. He's not going to use it quite yet. Hawk is holding on to that Ultra Stamp, waiting for Boise State to push up onto the point itself. He might just try to save that also, as long as UC Sunnydale manages to control the points. There he goes. He brings it out. He's going to go core dead. He picks out one. Can he get out of there? He is actually not going to try to overextend himself too much. He's finding himself right up against Hobbles, who's going to eliminate him. UC Sunnydale now just back to one. That's going to be Boise State taking things back.
Now Boise State controls it right now, doing a little victory booyah at managing to take him out, though someone did just come in there and was able to take part of the turf, though Boise State is locking it down right now, managing to avoid all of those ultimates and just keep control of it for the most part.
They haven't let UC Sunnydale actually get control of the points quite yet, so the penalty is now put on them. You see 24. So if Boise State wants to increase their score, push it down below 70, they're going to have to clear out that 24 first. Those sort of handicaps can really change the course of battle. Is going to throw out the Wavebreaker, trying to zone out the splat zones, and Boise State is down one, so they need all the help they can get. Reef Slider also brought out on UC Sunnydale. Ultra Stamp in response. Can Boise State clear it out? That's going to be a splat onto one. Boise State has regained control of the stages at just the right point. They are 1 point in the lead.
Now with Boise State in control, they're able to get some of those penalty points down. But unfortunately, they did just lose control because of UC Sunnydale kicking in there. Taruma is sniping from above there.
Oh my goodness!
Splats there.
What a play!
Sunnydale to get control again.
And they're almost past their handicap, so once all those extra points are cleared out of the way, UC Sunnydale is going to get into the lead. Now Boise State's going to find themselves on the back foot. And I think Taruma is a really big problem here up with this Splatling gun. Can just force out. It's going to throw out a Booyah Bomb as well. He is unstoppable right now. You can see Boise State, they're just kind of fumbling a little bit. They don't quite know what to do. There's going to be another Wavebreaker thrown out. Gem gets flanked from behind. And now Boise State's last chances are going to have to regroup as a team and try to get one last push before UC Sunnydale clears this.
Yep, Det trying to get any control they can, just trying to prevent UC Sunnydale from keeping control, but another Reef Slider goes in, just denying Boise State the chance to do it, though they do manage to get control of the other point while they're not paying attention, and then get a solid control on both points.
And look at that hefty penalty put on to UC Sunnydale. I have a feeling their score is going to be stuck at 10 for a long time. So now can the Broncos start to make up the difference? Oh, there's the super jump. That's the danger in using it. Hawk is waiting and lying in wait for him. Gets one. Gem avenges his teammate. Throws out another Wavebreaker, just trying to push out so much zoning denial for UC Sunnydale. Boise State now getting some points for themselves. They've gotten past the penalty stage. Now, how much can they even this up?
Oh, there's
Taruma, no.
There he is, he's waiting.
Using that Hydra Splatling, it takes the longest of all the Splatling guns to charge up, but sometimes you can just use your special like the Booyah Bomb and clear everyone out from mid. He is holding things down. UC Sunnydale manages to get back, and I think that penalty just put onto the Broncos is a deciding factor here.
Yeah, now that UC Sunnydale is able to start getting their penalty down, they have to be really careful here because Boise State is just really far behind right now, especially with their own penalty. Hawk is sitting there. He got 2 solid splats there with the Slatana.
Yeah, one of the new weapons for Splatoon 3. It kind of, nobody's really warmed up to it. You know, it kind of tries to split the difference between, you know, a sniper rifle and a brush, and well, depending on who you ask, does neither job particularly well. Det also has his own Splatana. He's going to try to bring out the zipliner, try to flank UC Sunnydale from behind, but there's just not enough time left. The Broncos might push this into overtime. If they can get back control, no, UC Sunnydale keeps them at bay, and now we are tied 2-2 in this best of 5. Well, that just kind of shows you the value of the team composition. You know, just kind of go a little bit more in depth on that. In Splatoon, there are actually 3 roles you can fill. There are the Slayers. Those are your front line. Those are people who have very short-range weapons, like the brushes, like the rollers, who are designed to get picks at the front line. You have your support in the middle with kind of the medium-range weapons, usually used to try to gank the Slayers. You know, you're trying to get those 2-on-1s, get yourself that team control. And then at the very back of the team, you have your anchors, which are the snipers, which are the Splatling operators, which came in clutch for UC Sunnydale there. I mean, their Hydra Splat Lane player was so insane.
Oh, he just kept getting pick after pick up there, and all he had to do was just sit there and make sure that the Boise State couldn't cover that zone anymore, not allowing them to remove any of their penalties for the longest time. And then as soon as they were able to push that up there, they just forced a huge penalty on Boise State and then managed to get so low that it didn't really matter that their penalty was so high after a little bit. They just had to keep Boise State from getting control again.
All right. One stage left. Tower control. Another classic mode for Splatoon 2. And if you want me to explain this, it's literally push. This is literally push before push was even in Overwatch. You got your point. You try to ride atop of it to push it as far as you can toward the other team's checkpoints. The one difference here, though, that is very crucial is, again, checkpoints. Not in Overwatch 2's version of push. And those checkpoints, you need to be able to hold them down and clear out space for yourself. And so it makes it a little bit easier for the other team. It doesn't make it as steamrolly, I'll say.
Yeah, definitely in that scenario with just how it works. Luckily, it's a lot. Whenever I watch this game, it gets really fast-paced because the tower just, although you'd think maybe one team would be able to hold on to it for a while and just keep it going for a little bit, no, it goes back and forth between that middle for a while, especially if you have really good teams going against each other.
And
so
really good anchors. I mean, the snipers, because you know someone is going to be on top of that tire. If you've got a good sniper, oh my goodness, you're in for a world of pain.
Yeah, especially, never goes well if you're the one up there, then just the sniper picks you off.
All right, let's get into the final game. This is going to be tower control to decide it. Who is going to be the ultimate victor, Boise State or UC Sunnydale? We are heading to Hagglefish Market, another new stage for Splatoon 3. A lot of high points. We also get to see, doesn't look like there's any anchors on UC Sunnydale. In fact, look at all of those weapons. Those are all almost slayers. Boise State has the longest range with those bows and the dualies that are brought out, the Jet Squelcher dualies. So Boise State has the longer range weapons, the better loadout here. That could be their ultimate advantage. As Fresh is going to try hit through here, try to clear out some room, brings out everyone's old friends, the Tenta missiles, going to solo ult it onto one. Boise State isn't going to get much for that first push, though.
Yeah, UC Sunnydale is able to take that first hit there as they just kind of sneak by Boise State there, trying to prevent them from getting the picks, but they do eventually manage to take it back there, right there, able to push forward. They do have 3 people on the tower there for a second, though. That could have been a little dangerous, especially with the jetpack right there waiting for them. Putting
all your eggs in one basket. UC Sunnydale managed to get 76. Can Boise State best that? A 2-on-1, well played from the Broncos. Jem also is going to hop on top of the roof there. Oh, because he's close with that wave breaker. That thing sends out shockwaves, so he's going to place that right on the tower. Say, hey, if you try to take this tower, you're just going to get mowed down, and it's going to work out by taking out Brymine from UC Sunnydale. Boise State continues on, having cleared the first checkpoint, is now moving on to checkpoint 2. Nope, not quite. That's a sweep from UC Sunnydale. Boise State's going to have to reset.
Issa with the bucket did get those 2 solid picks right there on the 2 people that were sitting on the tower, allowing them to push it forward right now, though there is a lot of orange ink around them, so if they do get pushed off the tower, that's going to be really dangerous. With Jem waiting there for a splat.
With the bomb, no less. He threw it out on top of the tower. The person who was on top of that tower just probably wasn't paying attention. See Jimmy here. Proud Bronco, if there ever was one. Everyone talks about the legend that is Jimmy, trying to stop the tower from being pushed. It now gets to the first checkpoint. Can UC Sunnydale clear this out? And this is the problem I was talking about earlier. UC Sunnydale has very low-range weapons, so these bows especially and the Jet Squelchers from this vantage point can just pick off UC Sunnydale by lemmings one by one.
Dark Lord trying to sneak in there, but he doesn't get the chance because Boise State's just sitting there waiting for him. Pulling out some of the ults too, just to clear the field and not let them go as Boise State pushes it back towards UC Sunnydale's side.
Oh, that's a great start toward Boise State's next push. Now, just like the robot in Overwatch 2, ground that you are already claimed makes the tower move faster. So the tower's going to move faster than normal if you're making up for lost ground. Boise State retakes the tower. Jarglor is going to find himself a sticky situation. Looks like a 2-on-1 from Jimmy and Mothman was enough to keep UC Sunnydale at bay. Also gets rid of Suki. He also has just come online with the Killer Whale, the new version of it. The Killer Whale 5.1 is going to target UC Sunnydale, clearing them out further as Boise State now gets to the second checkpoint.
Gem sitting on the tower waiting for UC Sunnydale to come back as they do try and push forward, but they're just getting taken out.
They're now at the last checkpoint. They're not going to be able to get past it. UC Sunnydale has probably their last chance here, or one of their few last chances to try to regain ground. Oh, did you see that? The snipe on the super jump to the tower. Jimmy is owning this bow. Well, as soon as I say that, you know, let's just forget that.
Yeah, the bow's an interesting one, especially because it's the other weapon that they just added in Splatoon 3, so it's, everyone's trying to get used to it, just like the Splatana.
Oh, looks like some ink strikes from above are going to clear out UC Sunnydale. How far can Boise State push? Ryman trades 1-for-1 on the tower as Boise State still have control. They have the person advantage. Wavebreaker thrown down, trying to clear out the tower. Jimmy now back online with that Killer Whale. Tacticooler also available for UC Sunnydale should they choose to use it. Or do they get taken out? Suki has taken a very risky flank here before they use the Tacticooler. And they still haven't. Look at this flank from Suki, is able to stop Boise State's push all in one foul move.
Oh.
Unless he's going to try to use the Tento pistols right on the tower. I like the thought, but...
If he had actually succeeded with that, that would have been really solid, but...
And this is what we were talking about with the special resets. You notice that Suki is now back to 60% on that Tacticooler. That's because they didn't use it before they got taken out. But at this low a time, I don't think it might make any difference. This is the one last push from UC Sunnydale. Will the Broncos hold them at bay?
Jimmy's waiting there with the bow, but there is a jetpack that he's dueling with right now, though he is managing to keep it off him as they are pushing it back. Into overtime, UC Sunnydale needs to stay on that tower. If Boise State knocks them off of it, that will be it. And the familiar vantage point that we all know, Gem is just having a field day picking them off one by one, moves toward the tower, they claim it, and the Broncos win this in the fifth and final game. Woo! That was quite a match. A lot of back and forth, a lot of competitiveness. And hopefully we've proven to anyone that Splatoon is just not a lightweight shooter game. It is fast-paced, frantic, and demands split-second thinking. Yeah, no, Splatoon is one of those games where you come into it, you just think, oh no, this is going to be easy, but nope.
It's kind of like Rocket League. You're watching it and it's like, oh yeah, I'm just driving the cars around, you know? What could go wrong? And then you get a hold of the controls and you're like, oh my goodness, what did I get myself into?
How do I flip? That was me the first time I did it. I was like, that looks cool. I want to try it. And then I haven't figured it out fully yet. But no, that's the fun of Splatoon though, is once you actually get used to it though, it's so fun to ride through the ink there.
Well, Boise State Esports is always looking for talented new students to join production or the various games that we play, Overwatch, Rocket League, Valorant. There are plenty of options. And top talent, along with good grades and eligibility, can earn you scholarships as well. So go to boisestate.edu/esports for more information. And that looks like it is going to be the final that we see here for the Splatoon. So do you have the Splatoon opening event, so do you have any final thoughts?
You know, it's not a game that a game type that we show a lot here, but I think it was a lot of fun just to try and showcase a different style of team game that we haven't played in a while. It really does take a lot of coordination. You have to be very careful about how you push, where, the inking that you do, and when you use your abilities, and it's just a different style of game that than what we normally show. So I think it was a lot of fun to be able to sit out here and watch Boise State go against another college and see how they do. Yeah, and speaking of colleges, you know, showcasing a match like this, maybe get some other interest from some other colleges, get some more exhibition matches in the future. We sure hope so, but that's going to do it for our Splatoon match tonight. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned to Boise State Twitch page for more Boise State esports action.